was a little bit late. Attention, please. I was a bit late today because I was changing the file. Some of the words are too small. Basically, the group, this is something I believe all of you know how to do. Like in your presentation, you speak to your audience. You try to catch their attention. So that's what they did, okay? But I believe you can be a lot more creative. Oh, by the way, in designing your lesson plan, you can determine whether you want to teach the poem to high school students, English majors, or college students. Okay, I guess definitely you don't have time to explain the poem completely, but determining the different students with different using students of different backgrounds, sometimes the frame of your presentation will be different. Like the way you test them will be different. Like for high school students or non-English majors, you may be testing vocabulary only. Okay, but for English majors, you may want to do other kind of test. Yeah. Okay. And then here they started out with giving some similarities, showing some similarities between the guy and Barbara Allen. That in a way they all show regret or reluctance. No, like the guy is unwilling to face the fact of his death before he turned to the wall. Okay, and Barbara Allen regret that her lover would died, but there's a bad timing here, because he strives to make the connection when Barbara Allen looks cold, and when Barbara Allen recognizes a love, he dies already. So basically, I remember the group's conclusion. Let me see. There is a probably just here. No. Okay. In one slide, they wrote that, oh, we should really seize the time, the moment to love, etc. So I think that's one of their main message. One of their main messages. I think in the after you have chosen a poem, in the the following 2 weeks, you should really read the poem closely, get some resources, and then try to work out a main idea. Some people say that I guess I'm not really a good teacher. Some good teachers said that in one class, you can provide no more than 3 main points. I'm not sure how many points I made, but the idea is that students cannot remember more than 3 main points. And other than that, you elaborate, you give examples, etc., etc. And in your conclusion, you remind the student of the 3 main points you made. Okay, I guess that's really a very well-planned way of teaching, and I'm not doing that, but I'm suggesting it to you, and you can consider that. What your main point is, in 20 minutes, and then how you convey the main point really effectively to your students. So here, the students they did a very thorough comparison of the different versions. Oh, here. Don't let true love strip away from you when you meet it. But what makes the traditional presentation different from yours is that, they have, let me see, 27 slides. Doing comparison. Okay. Okay, after their main message, this is their main message, right? After their main message, they start the comparison of the setting, the plot, why Barbara Allen refuses to be kind to the young man, and then the young man's responses, everyone. Okay, and I think the problem with this kind of comparison is that their comparison actually does not support the main idea. After they gave the main idea, then the comparisons become too detailed to be wrapped up with their main idea. So that's the problem. See, the young man's responses, the others' responses, the church bell, Barbara Allen's final responses, symbols, etc., the dialogue. They did comparisons of everything, and then they analyzed the symbols and everything. Okay, and I think that this is a careful work. Okay, I guess this type of carefulness is the minimum you should have. But I expect you to do more in two ways. One is that you should really try to use the detail to support your main idea. I think that although I talk a lot about Barbara Allen, I still have a main idea. My main idea is that the four versions are no, there are four versions, but actually we are dealing with three versions. Our Garfunkel's version is similar to version 2. That's the second version. And then I think that the second version is presented as a tragedy, and the third version is presented as a bit like Romeo and Juliet story, with more social conditioning. Okay, and the first version just show a cool woman. And this is really a type in traditional literature, the so-called femme fatale, fatal woman. Some women can be beautiful, and then they can be cool, etc., etc. So, and I like the first version the least. And I think that the second and the third versions, have a lot to discuss and examine, etc., etc. I think that I still have a main point, but here they are really responsible in getting all the details, okay? But here, see, the words were too small. Before I came here, I tried to make their words larger, but then the bell rang and I didn't have time. Okay, so that's something to avoid. Also, as we move along, I'll let you know whether you have a screen. Whether you have a screen or not, I think you will. All of the groups will have a screen. But in different rooms, the presentation effects will be different. Like, for instance, if one group is in my office, then I think the walls is not large enough, okay, to have a full screen presentation. We'll figure that out. Okay, getting 5 classrooms is not easy. And that's why, we thought of using 2 classrooms and 1 office. Okay, we'll figure that out. Okay. Okay, so this is just an example. And see, the other, besides not having a focus, the other problem with this one is you can imagine how this went. It's all presentation with no interaction. So that's another thing you should avoid. In your lesson, you should give a presentation like this for no more than maybe 5 minutes. And then after that, there should be Q&A, more interaction to get students involved. The students shouldn't be just sitting there listening. They should get interested. They should get involved. They should have some practice, and then they should be tested. Okay, so these are the principles. Okay? Okay, finally, your midterm. No, your final. I'm not going to talk about everything, just one thing. 2 things. Maybe I was not clear. Okay. I said that I asked you to give a 3-sentence interpretation of the 3 things. It means that in 3 sentences you should include 3 things. Some of you just wrote 3 sentences and that's it. Sometimes a lot of you just cover. I asked about the meanings, the form, and significance in this context. And some of you wrote 3 sentences about the meanings, and that's it. And they thought that, oh, I shouldn't go beyond 3 sentences, so I don't write more. Okay, and because of that, I think that I worry that I didn't convey myself very clearly. although if I had time, I would give you some sample answers myself. I believe in 3 sentences you can cover everything. You can cover the 3 parts. You just need to be more concise. Okay, so I only deducted 4 points out of 10. If you didn't cover the second and the third parts. Out of 15, out of 10, yes, only 4 points deducted if you didn't cover this, the second and the third parts. Okay, so this is one explanation to give to you before I give you back the paper. And this, I enjoy reading the last essay question because it took me a lot of time, but I enjoy seeing you comparing different texts. And that's why I selected some common comparison or some interesting comparison, and also my responses to your comparison. Can you see them? Can you see the words? Can? Okay. The first comparison that I see, maybe 3 of you did, is to compare a rose for Emily in a station of a metro. I think this is a wonderful idea. To say that Emily resists changes, while the speaker in the station of the metro embrace changes. Okay, so I think this is a good idea. But, actually, what I have tried to ask you to do is to talk about the society, to not see the 2 human beings or the 2 poems as exactly comparable without involving their social context. Because you can, like now, we can stay single. Women can stay single, and there's no problem with that. Okay, but maybe in the 19th century, in the first part of the 20th century, that's really not possible. You are just weird if you will be seen as weird or spinster if you stay single. So you need to be very careful about different action. What different actions mean in different societies. They mean different things. Okay, so here Emily Dickinson really, Emily in the South really are in a different position from Ezra Pound in Paris. Ezra Pound is very liberal. He's being a guy in Paris, has all the freedom he has. But Emily Dickinson, Emily, is seen as the last aristocrat. So she has a lot of burden put on her. Okay, but she strives for some changes in the middle of her life, while the town people prohibit her from doing that. They intervene and they gossip, etc. Okay, and the second comparison, also very interesting. We're real cool, and I'm nobody. Who are you? And I think those of you who did it made a very good point about we're real cool. The speaker of we're real cool being assertive in a violent way, being in a kind of destructive way, but the other is self-protective. Okay, and I would just want to add to this to say that we still need to be aware that one is from the 19th century and one is from the 20th century, and the poet's positions differ. Now, Emily Dickinson pretty much speaks for herself, for people like her, okay, who wants to retain a space for her identity and for her individuality. But Gwendolyn Brooks talks about the young gangsters. Okay, so there is a world of difference between their positions, and that makes their use of language different. Yeah. So their conception of society also is different. Like in I'm Nobody, the society means maybe the noisy pond with frogs croaking all the time, etc. Okay, but we're real cool. The society is filled with violence. No, not with many choices for them. Okay, etc. They feel that they are rejected by society. So I think there's a lot more to compare here. And some of you compare We're Real Cool with Harlem. Again, a good thing because both are about Afro-American people. Okay, and then say that both of them are rebellious. Okay, but the social backgrounds are different because when you deal with Harlem, I think the Langston Hughes is talking about a collective situation. You know, how the Afro-American as a group of people get disappointed more and more until they explode, and then there were some social movements. Okay, so this kind of rebellion really, if I were to use some value judgment, I would say that it's a lot more meaningful. It brings some social changes. Then the teenagers in We Will Cool, their rebellion, only leads to their own deaths. Okay. On the other hand, if we compare any of these 2 points with AMP, we need to say that Sammy in AMP, although he is not from an upper class, but by comparison, he has more advantages, in getting a job in the supermarket and in communicating with the other white people. So I think and his rebellion takes on even less meaning than We Will Cause, because it does no harm to him. He only speaks against Lengo. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I think you can be still more specific there. This is a good comparison. Comparing A Northeast Patient Spider and Mending Wall, both one written in the 19th century, one in the 20th century, and I like the idea. You did it, right? What's your name? Joan. Yes, Joan did this. I like Joan's idea of saying that one makes connections while both make connections. But Mending Wall, the speaker of Mending Wall, challenged the boundary only half-heartedly. And I think this is really a unique comparison. I guess sometimes when you try to make sense of your comparisons, sometimes it's hard for you because you don't have the context. You don't know that much about world histories or literary histories. It just happens that Walt Whitman is a romantic poet. And you can even say that Robert Frost is one of the last romantics. And what does this mean? What this means, I'll explain more when we get to the romantic age. Like Yeats and Robert Frost, they are in the 20th century, but they are seen as romantic because they deal with nature. Okay, but sometimes they are seen as last romantic because being romantic at that time is no longer possible. Okay. Okay, so that's a good comparison. Comparing Anne Jennifer's Tigers and The Story of an Hour is also a good choice, and that I like a lot. And then you talked about how women rebel against gender inequality. This is really good. And I remember one of you even say that Anne Jennifer's Tiger, Anne Jennifer is bolder in the rebellion than The Story of an Hour. And I find this to be really perceptive. Because, after all, what's her name? The woman in Story of an Hour, she finds a possibility only after the death of the husband, only after the reported death. Okay. And Willa Cather, is it Willa Cather? No. Kate Chopin. Kate Chopin herself, remember in my PowerPoint file, I wrote that she said that she would have chosen to live with her husband and her mother if she had a chance, but both of them died. And she said that her life changed completely after the death of these two people she dearly loved. Okay, so the freedom she gets, or the woman gets in the story, is a forced one. It's not really chosen. It's something forced upon her or them by fate. Okay. On the other hand, Anne Jennifer's needlework expresses her sense of freedom, but then it's still compromised. In other words, both of their rebellion are framed by patriarchal society, because we talk about the meanings of tiger. that it is still a masculine symbol, etc. Okay. Anyway, this kind of discussion will continue this semester, and in the first unit, we'll do it in class through the discussions, and also later on, I'll let you know when you can start to do the annotation. I'm not ready yet because this semester everything gets slowed down because of the funding situation. Anyway, so I'll let you know when you can start to do the journal, and we'll have journals, we'll have annotation, and then right now I keep 1 week free, and in that week we'll either have some other group activities or have the second midterm. If you find having one final exam on 2 long texts too difficult for you, then maybe we'll have a small midterm in that week. Okay? Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.